What is going on, guys? It's me, Mark from Mark's Tech, and I finally am doing a review of the Galaxy Watch. I've had this thing for about 3 weeks now, and I said kind of review because I'm not gonna give you guys the typical review that you've seen thousands of times where I go through all the menus, what it can do, what it can't do. I'm gonna give you guys a review from a real user experience. So I'm not gonna tell you guys that this thing can watch YouTube videos. It can, but I'm not gonna go over that because I don't really see myself or you doing this for 20 minutes watching your favorite vlogger or whoever you watch. No one's gonna do that, so I'm not gonna go over that. So let's get started. The first thing, the way it looks, let's be honest. It's super sexy, okay? The one thing I love about watches is watches. I love the way traditional watches look like. The one thing I hated about Apple Watch is it's weird. It's a square with a circle as the watch face. Again, that makes no sense to me. It's not proportionate. It doesn't look like it's supposed to be there. It looks like an afterthought. Meanwhile, this is nice and round. It's a nice looking watch. You got glossy black on the border. You got matte black on the top where the rotating rim is. You got the two buttons on the side that also mimic a real watch buttons. Overall, it's just a really nice looking watch. Now, as you guys can see, it is a little chunky. It's a little bit, it's a little fat. But honestly, I never really found that to be any issue at all. It doesn't get caught in my pockets or anything. It's not really that big. I mean, once you put it on your wrist, it actually fits perfectly. It's not too big. It's not too heavy. I don't even notice it when it's on my wrist. And again, that's perfect. Even when I go to bed and if I'm still wearing the watch, I honestly don't really feel it that much. I don't really feel it any more or less than I did with the Apple Watch. So it looks good, it feels good, and it doesn't weigh that much. Cool. Let's keep it rolling. So the next thing I want to talk about is the call quality and the speakerphone quality. Guys, keep in mind, it's a watch. It's not going to be great. I think the Apple Watch is a little louder when it comes to making phone calls. And I think the person on the other end can hear you better if you have the Apple Watch. But both do a good job. I mean, again, if you're out in the kitchen, your hands are dirty, someone calls you, you can, talk to them like this. You can hear what they're saying. But for you to be walking around outside or maybe for some reason in the gym and, you get a phone call, you're not really going to be able to hear them. In fact, they will pretty much hear everything around you. So keep that in mind. It is a watch. Don't expect miracles of Jesus Christ himself to bless upon you. It's okay. It does the job. It's not perfect. So let's keep it going. The next thing I want to talk about is the battery health. How long does the battery last? Well, I'll be honest with you guys. For me, on my daily usage, which I will talk about later, it lasts about 2.5 days with the always on display turned off and the brightness set around 4 or 5. With the always on display turned on, you can easily go through an entire day with this watch. The next thing I want to talk about is the smoothness. Now, again, I'm really ignorant when it comes to Android and Samsung because I've owned iPhone for 10 years. I've only used the Apple Watch. So automatically when I think of Galaxy, I always think of lagging, right? Well, I mean, that was up until a month ago when I got the S10 Plus. So when I got the Galaxy Watch, I was also a little scared. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little scared. I'm like, what if this thing starts lagging on me? Does it lag straight out of the box? Like, what if the processor isn't strong enough? I had all these like stupid ideas going through my head. But I'm happy to say this thing is super fast. It literally works and flies. Whatever I needed to do is gonna do it. The menu system is nice and responsive. The touch screen is perfectly responsive. The rotating bezel or the rotating rim, whatever you want to call it, is nice and perfect. And speaking of the rotating bezel, it makes sense. I rotate right and the watch faces and all the widgets move to the right. When I rotate it left, it goes back. And if I rotate it left far enough, it goes into your notifications. It makes sense. It makes a little more sense than the rotating crown on the Apple Watch, in my opinion. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. But again, the watch is super smooth. If you guys are worried about that, don't be, because this thing has not lagged on me one bit whatsoever. The next thing I want to talk about is the watch faces. Guys, okay, first of all, If you have been following me on Instagram, you've already known about this. And if you haven't been following me on Instagram, what are you doing? Go follow me right now. But as you guys saw, like I think a week ago, I posted a picture of a Rolex watch face, and I loved it. I got so many compliments from that photo, even in person. Like people were like, "What?" And it's so cool because when you take a quick glimpse at it, it looks like a real watch face. It looks like a real face, you know. There's so many different watch faces from like real branded real branded watches, you know. So you're not really stuck with like those colorful watch faces like you got on Apple Watch. You're not really stuck with those. You can download like actual branded watch faces. Like for example, you can download Seiko, you can download Citizen, you can download Omega, you can download Rolex. You can download all those watch faces, and you can even make your own watch faces. Like that to me just blew my mind right there. There's so much customizability that you can do with this watch. It's insane. I mean, right then and there, you know for a fact, like, yep, that's an Android right there, because you have so much customizability. Now the strap this thing came with is super comfortable. I say it's pretty much comparable to the Apple Watch in terms of how it feels. But the one thing I will say is that if you're gonna be typing on the keyboard for a long period of time, and the table is going to be up against your wrist, that is going to do a little bit of damage to your arm. You will have indentations like on your skin. So what I recommend doing is, if you're going to be typing for a long time, put your chair a little higher so you're sitting a little more upward so your wrist isn't completely smashed against the table, or just take it off, or just buy a different kind of strap. For me, this strap works fine. Again, I don't really get that much damage done to my wrist. So I still love this strap. I'm gonna keep it for now. But if you guys have any recommendations on other cool straps, drop those links. I wanna see. So what do I use this watch for? I just talked about all these cool things, but what do I use the watch for? Now, I'll be honest with you guys. there's not gonna be any bias in here. I'm not gonna say something that I don't use regularly, okay? Because again, you can watch YouTube on this watch, like full videos. You can watch YouTube. But I'm not gonna sit here like this and watch YouTube. I'm just not gonna do that. And I'm pretty sure you guys are gonna do that too. First of all, your watch will die in like an hour if you do decide to do that. So I'm not gonna talk about that. What I will talk about is real life usage and how it can be maybe equivalent to you or maybe not. So here it goes. Notifications, gym, making phone calls sometimes. So those three things is literally all I do with the watch. I love getting notifications. You know, as any smartwatch, you can have the phone charging on a charger pad. You can be out in the living room watching a movie. Oh, someone's calling you, you can answer. Someone texted you, you can answer. You got an email, you can answer it. So stuff like that. You can even send a quick, speak of the devil. I just gotta see right there. I don't need my phone. I didn't even look at my phone. So stuff like that, there's a huge convenience factor. And really, even if the watch did nothing else, I would be okay with it. I'd be like, okay, that's fine. The convenience itself for me is worth it. So the gym, I go to the gym with this watch. There is a huge downside. For some weird reason, this thing cannot count your footsteps. I mean, it can, but it multiplies them by like 50. Not really, but close. But it really does over exaggerate how many steps you took, because there's no way I took 6,000 steps at work. What was it, a few days ago? I think it was a few days ago. It said I took 6,000 steps at work. Listen, that is not possible. That is physically not possible for me to do that at work. And then some days it says I took 3,000, sometimes 2,000, sometimes 5,000, but it's not consistent. So even if I go to the gym and I'm on the treadmill, it tracks my calories pretty spot on. I will admit that. And my heart rate, it tracks spot on. But my footsteps is not accurate. I don't understand how it can track your calories accurately, but not your footsteps. Like, I think that would be like vice versa, but not with this watch. And the reason I'm saying it tracks your calories accurately, I mean, obviously no smartwatch is gonna be super accurate, but if I compare it to what the treadmill says, it is like plus or minus 10 or 15 calorie difference, which is, I mean, that's pretty damn good for a smartwatch. It can also track rows. If you have a rowing machine at your gym, or maybe if you have an actual canoe, lucky, and you go rowing with it, This thing will track rows, not a problem. It'll track your bench press, your bicep curls, your lat pull downs, your tricep extensions. I mean, the amount of stuff this thing can do is quite impressive, except the footsteps. Oh my God. Why can't it track footsteps? It doesn't seem like it would be that hard of a thing to track. But guys, I mean, that's pretty much it. That's my review. Again, it's not really an in-depth kind of review. It was super kind of a short review simply because I wanted to give you guys a real user experience. If you have the Apple Watch and you're thinking about transferring over to the Android ecosystem, don't be afraid of the Galaxy Watch. It's perfect. It's fine. It does the job. It works pretty much identically to the Apple Watch, except footsteps. I'm still mad at that part. But everything else, it works. It works fine. Battery life is great. It looks fantastic. You can get a Rolex watch face for it and maybe trick your girlfriend into thinking you got a Rolex, but you don't because you don't have enough money for a Rolex, because if you did, you probably would get a Rolex. Long story short, it's a great watch. It's $100 cheaper than the cheapest Apple Watch, and it's 2 millimeters bigger than the cheapest Apple Watch, and the battery lasts longer. That's pretty much it, guys. Let me know what you guys think. I got way more videos coming up, and I got a super huge special video coming up, hopefully in the next week or two. So, oh my God, be prepared because it's gonna be insane. I can't say anything yet, but it's gonna be insane. All right, have a good one.